Welcome to After LUTV News, where we discuss interesting topics on campus, in the community, and in the world of culture. I am Akira Mouton. March is Women's History Month. Over the years, women have proved that we can be successful in any industry that we choose to work in. Taylor Swift and Beyonce are some of the most successful women in the music industry. Unfortunately, people often put them against one another. Panel, why do you think people often compare Beyonce and Taylor Swift?
I personally think people compare Beyonce and Taylor Swift because they're both very successful women in the music industry, and they both have very big influences on the music industry as well. Okay. So I think that's why they compare each other.
What about you, Angelique? Why do you think people compare them?
I think because I feel like different personalities like Beyonce rather than like people who like Taylor Swift. And so then I feel like a big thing is their fan bases too, because like once one of them comes out with a new song, they're like, okay, well this one's better. No, wait, this one's better. And the fans go head to head. And then they compare two women who are just making the most money out of the music industry possible.
I'm gonna bring up this point. I'm just gonna get it out there. I feel like a lot more Black people show support toward Beyonce, and a lot more Caucasian people show support Taylor Swift. If we're gonna be honest, so I think that it can be like a race thing. They're both very successful women, but I don't think that people should put them against one another. What are your thoughts of Beyonce and Taylor Swift as individual artists? Not comparing them, just what do you think about them individually? Their music, them as a person.
Personally, I've grown up a Taylor Swift fan, but I don't hate Beyonce, and there's like a few of her songs that like I listen to, and I mean I'm not the biggest fan of her. I would say like I prefer Taylor Swift over her, but I like have so much respect for Beyonce because she does so much, she does the most, and it's truly amazing. And same goes for Taylor Swift. So like individually, they're both women out there like doing what they want to do, and that's like what I respect the most.
How do you feel about them as individuals?
I respect both women. I grew up, I think, listening to more Beyonce than I did Taylor Swift. So I relate, I think, more to Beyonce's music. But I respect them both equally.
For me, I love Beyonce. I think Taylor Swift is good, but I grew up with Beyonce, and like her music just empowers me. Taylor Swift, I enjoy it when her songs come on the radio and I can just jam to them, but I'm definitely more of a Beyonce fan, but it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. I think they're both great women. Why do you think they're both successful as musicians?
I think they're both successful as musicians because they're great at what they do. They're both relatable. They both are just great musicians overall.
Why do you think they're both successful?
I think they both have music that like hits like bigger audiences on their own. So then like whenever a song comes out, like there's a bunch of people like, oh, I can relate to this, and they tune into those songs.
I think I agree with y'all. I think they're both successful just because they're just boss women. They do what they're supposed to do, and people are here for it. So, as artists, what do you think they do differently? Once again, not comparing them, but just what do you think they do differently as artists?
I feel like compared against each other, even though they're both kind of like in the same genre, I feel like they're still different styles. Like Taylor Swift's more like like upbeat pop, and even like she had like some country too. And I know Beyonce just came out with a country song, and I believe she's from Houston.
She is.
But I feel like their audiences and like the type of music is so different. So like that's why like different people tune into like each one. But like I love both of them.
Did you have anything to add? What do you think they do differently as artists?
I think what they do differently as artists is they just, I don't know.
I agree with what Angelique said. They have different audiences. So although they're both very popular, they're going totally different routes. How do we stop putting women against each other in the industry?
I think what we can do better about putting women against each other in the industry is we can stop comparing them. They're both, like you said, boss women that are great at what they do, so we can stop comparing them. Like, why do we have to compare them? Like, they're both different women. They're both individuals, so why do we have to compare them? Like, they're both just different. Like, why do we have to?
Exactly. They're in their own lanes.
I agree. I feel like every single woman is like, hold on. I feel like when it comes to like Taylor Swift and Beyonce, I feel like with like women such big in the music industry, people always look for like something to hate about them, and then they make that so apparent. Like I am like a Swiftie, but I think something like people hate on Swifties so much, but people make it known that they're a Swiftie hater, and it's like they're always hating and stuff. But even like women in the industry, they just always find something to hate whenever like we should just appreciate that we have women up there, so high up there with followings and in the world in general that have like millions of people like actually looking up to them as inspiration.
And why do you think people find things to hate about these artists?
Because they're doing better than them. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because they just want to find something to critique.
Yeah. So how do we celebrate women as a whole? We talked about how people criticize women, but how do we uplift all women in the industry?
I would say just give them love, give them appreciation, give them enthusiasm.
Empower them.
Empower them.
Okay. Is there anything y'all would like to add about Beyonce, Taylor Swift, women in the industry?
Women in the industry are amazing, and I feel like a lot of them we need to like have like major respect for, because some people can't even do that, and we should be happy that in this century we have women out there actually making a name for themselves.
Yes, that there are women today that we look up to. Like, there's little girls that look up to Taylor Swift and want to be the next Taylor Swift. There's little girls that look up to Beyonce that want to be the next Beyonce. Like, women today are empowering the next generation, and we need to embrace that.
And you know, historically, women haven't always been in the spotlight, so it's good that we even have people up there. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for watching After LUTV News. To see more content from LUTV News, follow us on X and like us on Facebook.